And Les, why don't we just real quick just take a minute and a half. I heard you on Liddy's call last night at the end. Just real quick, talk about the lifestyle change, the lifestyle enhancement that this business has afforded you. Again, one of our global ambassadors, maybe the first crown. I don't know. This guy, he's cranking it out. So, Mr. Les Carter, can you share just while we get things teed up for Dr. Katrina? Can you talk about the lifestyle enhancement of byproduct of sharing?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I just wanted to share that, through doing the right thing, good things happen. I have a lot of things going on during the summer, some of which before Shop Free Mart wasn't in my budget to attend. For an example, starting with last week, I was going to go to St. Louis, and I did go to St. Louis. My daughter was co-chair of the Forest Park Forever fundraiser, the largest fundraiser for the park there in St. Louis. And normally they raise about $250,000. She co-chaired with the first female that became a partner at Edward Jones, and they raised over $1 million at that fundraiser. Well, as I was going there, I got notified that my 93-year-old cousin had an appointment with the Lord that he had to be on time for, and he was being funeralized in Gary, Indiana. Well, I wasn't planning on going, but because of the generosity of John Austin and that weekly commission hit my account, I said, oh, by surprise, all of a sudden, it was $400 more than what I thought I had. So I continued on and went to Gary, Indiana, and was able to go there and then come back through St. Louis and then come on back. And then my family, my high school is having a reunion in Jackson, Mississippi this coming weekend that I hadn't planned on going to. But here again, because of the extra cash flow through the generosity of this compensation plan that pays out over 90%, I was able to plan, get my registration paid for, and plan to be there to reconnect with some high school people that I went to school with and some others that graduated before and after I did. It's not a class reunion, it's a high school reunion. So I'm going there this weekend. And then my family reunion, the 54th annual Carter Family Reunion back in Chicago, at a resort there. And again, I wanted to go, but the budget wasn't saying yes. But because of the generosity of this compensation plan, I had the funds to go, plus purchase all the rest of the Shop Free Mart products that I didn't have for only about $50 because of the compensation plan, because of the 20% virtual money. I mean, I can't think of nothing else to do. I would do it for free, but I'm glad I get paid. I take the pay, though. Yes, I enjoy doing it. It's amazing when you can do what you love to do and get financially rewarded for it. Money's not everything, but as Rita Davenport says, it ranks right up there high with oxygen. It may not be important to you, but it's important to your mortgage company. It's important to the IRS. It's important to the grocery cashier. When you go to the store to try to go to Whole Foods and buy some better food, you have to pay more money. It's amazing how the better stuff costs more. So if you want better, we just need to do better, and we can be 10 times better. Not 10 times better than the rest, but 10 times better than the best, if you just believe. Thanks for letting me come to the front of the call, Dr. Stan.
Wow. Wow. Folks, do you understand what God's assembling here? So, hey, get ready to get something to write on, something to write with, and it's going to be incredible. I just sent out a bunch more texts. I'm about to do a Facebook post even while she's speaking to get more people on this call. We've got a bunch already. But Dr. Katrina Ferguson, a global ambassador, made ambassador literally in 2 hours. We were speaking at the ambassador roundup, and I said, hey, Doc, why don't you go ahead and make global? So all of a sudden she starts typing away on her computer and doing some other things. And about 3 hours later or so, she says, I made it. I said, you made what? She said, I made global. I'm like, yeah, right. I looked at my back office like, oh, my goodness. So this woman, I'm telling you, my friend, it's incredible. So you're so blessed to have her as part of the team. She actually was the face for single parent mothers with another company, and just anyway, $1 million in not just network marketing, but in real estate, different things. I mean, it's like what she puts her hand to, she makes it work. Her newest book, of course, Woman's Worth, #1 bestseller in several categories. Registered in I think 12 different categories, and it just keeps climbing and keeps going, and just incredible. Matter of fact, I was speaking at a One Year Millionaire Live event, me and Myron Golden, and I had my copy sitting there, and this lady begged me and bought my signature copy. I was like, no, she's like, no, I gotta have that, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm telling you, folks, you are in a blessed place. So the next voice you hear will be that of Dr. Katrina Ferguson, as she helps us understand taxes, and it's not what you make, it's what you're able to keep legally. Hey, Doc, take it away.
Hey. Hi, sir. How are you?
I am excellent. Welcome back from Israel.
Yes, among other places. It's been amazing, and definitely thanks for having me back on the call. I am thanking God for dealing with this jet lag, which is some serious stuff. But listen, when we were in Israel, I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time in that culture. And, I tell you what, if we haven't embraced the Shabbat, that Friday night activity where, we kind of from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday for the Sabbath kind of shut down and spend time with family and families around us, that was a great, great opportunity, because what we did that night, we literally sat down in the hotel lobby where all the families were, and I had my Shop Free Mart products on the table. And people were just asking questions just because they were there. And, of course, there was a slight language barrier. I don't speak Hebrew. However, just by virtue of having your products out there and available, it opened up a conversation. We did get some people started, and it was just exciting. And, those tours, when you're going through the Holy Land, it's a lot of walking. One of the elders, several of the elders from our church, was having a hard time keeping up. And, my only regret from the trip was that I only had my personal nano cards with me. I had hydration drops. I had the other stuff. I didn't have any more nano cards with me. And I think I spoke with you about trying to get some overnighted internationally into Israel, because I felt so bad for one of the ladies. I literally just took mine out of my pocket and gave it to her, and she wouldn't give it back. We were at the airport trying to go home. It's like, can I get that's my personal card. You need to order your own. And she's like, no, this is what got me through. Had it not been for this card, she said, I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. All I know is I need a supply for me and my friends, because had I not had this card, I would not have been able to keep up with my daughter and my grandson. And that changed the whole face of the trip for that family. So if you ever stop and wonder, is what you're doing making a difference? You got to know definitively it is making a difference. People's lives are being enhanced by something as simple as, a card that we get for $40 for 5 of them, and it's a tax deduction. So what happened as a result is part of that trip now is a tax deduction. Why? Because I sold product while I was there. I showed product while I was there. I demonstrated product while I was there. Even though that was not my primary purpose for going on the trip, there were days that I can calculate and write off. Why? Because I did business on those days. So what's the moral of the story? When you go on vacation, do business on more days than you don't. Okay? So, again, I am Dr. Katrina Ferguson, and excited to be back home for Tax Tuesday and kind of pick up on some of the conversations that we left off on. Taxation, or understanding how taxes work for home-based business, is not just for you in terms of your personal tax picture, but it's also designed to help you in your recruiting and your exposing people to the business opportunity. I mean, let's face it, we have amazing products. They speak for themselves. It's pretty easy to go out there and just say, look, try this. There's going to be a change in their state, in their health, and they're going to fall in love with the product. Well, now you want to encourage them to begin to move on and build a business. Well, here are some of the things that you can tell them in order to encourage them or push them over the hump, so to speak. When you tell them that the average home-based business gets, $3,000 to $5,000 in additional tax deductions over someone who's simply a W-2 employee. when you begin to tell them that the bills that they're currently paying can now be considered tax deductions and lower their tax liabilities as a result of attempting to make a profit in a home-based business. These are all conversations you can have that will help you to grow your business. So I'm going to start off by just kind of running through, like I said at the end of the last conversation, some of the things that you can, some of the factors that determine whether or not you are attempting to make a profit so that you can begin to write these deductions off as your business. So I'm just going to run through them because a lot of them we've talked about, but I just want to kind of get caught up so we can move forward for those who may have missed it. One of the things that's important is going to be the expertise of you and the people that you're working with. Now, we work with some of the best in the entire industry. We've got Dr. Breakthrough in terms of how to build a business, and we've got, Dr. Awita in terms of the health and wellness industry. So you've got the advisors that are going to help you. If you're attending trainings and conferences and you're regularly getting on calls and taking notes, because we know note takers are money makers, right, and more than just in terms of building your business, but money makers because the IRS would seeing those notes and those annotations help to support your being a legitimate business owner. Those are the things that they're going to be looking for. How much time are you spending carrying out that activity? So you want to have a schedule. If your schedule includes being on this call every morning at 8 a.m., make sure it's on your calendar. Make sure it's in your diary or however you keep your work schedule so that you can see that you were there, how long you worked it, and what it is exactly that you did. I love the ideas that Ty Grail and the others are starting actual events in their marketplaces. Why? All of that now becomes additionally tax deductible. And when they run to Walmart to get their supplies for that meeting and they stop and they get toilet tissue and all that stuff for their house, guess what? That whole trip, all that mileage now is tax deductible. Why? Because their primary purpose to go to Walmart was to get supplies for that meeting, right? All of that now becomes tax deductible. It's another area is, what has your past success been in other businesses? Not even businesses in the same industry. But if you've got any examples of having successfully run a profitable business entrepreneurially in the past, that's a plus. That shows that you have the skill set necessary. Even if you haven't, as long as you're staying close to your leadership and going to these trainings and developing and growing, guess what? You can still use those deductions. The IRS is good with that. They're going to consider your history of income and losses with the activity. If your company or your business is losing money year after year after year, you're going to have an explanation for it. Remember, we talked about my client who is a sports agent, and for years he will lose money, and then all of a sudden there'll be a huge influx of money. Well, that's been the habit. That's been the pattern. And the IRS knows that in certain industries, you can expect to lose that money for a while. However, if the losses are decreasing each year, then that's going to help you as a trend because it shows that you're getting closer and closer to getting into profit mode, which dispels some of those myths that we've heard about. You have to make profit a certain number of years out of 5 years or whatever. They're going to be concerned about the amount of occasional profits which are earned. Some people will say, well, even if you earn $1, that's going to help prove your profit intent. And that's not really the case. If they're going to be concerned about the amount of occasional profit. So the whole idea here is that you've got to be working it as a business, right? You've got to treat your business like a legitimate business. Do you have a separate business checking account only for business? Do you have a separate card that you're using only for your business expenses? We talked about how you don't want to commingle your funds. And then do you work your business, again, regularly, consistently? And are you keeping your expense records? Now, I know, because I know for me, when I first heard that I had to keep records of every little thing I did in order to make this business deduction work, I was like, oh my goodness, how on earth could I possibly make this okay? How can I possibly keep track of all of these things? Of course, the landscaper is going to be here this morning. How can I possibly keep enough with the paper? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I had the boxes of receipts. I had the piles of paper trying to keep track, and I found a software system many, many years ago that I started using. But I mean, and it works. I continue to use it in the background, But when you're running from place to place, space to space, it can be difficult to keep track of all that. So I'm going to share with you today a software system that I use, an app, I should say, that makes it pretty much automatic. And I'm going to share that with you before the end of the call. But here's the thing. The real answer to all the questions that the IRS has about whether or not you are legitimately running a business or in business is a business plan. Having a business plan, right? Do you have a business plan? Now, someone is saying, oh my gosh, I know it's expensive. It's going to cost me, a couple $1,000s to have this business plan written. I don't even know who to call. Hopefully somebody will refer somebody. Maybe we can get a volume discount. But guess what? You don't have to worry about that because your company, because Shop Free Mart has already written that business plan for you. Just print out a copy of your compensation plan, print out a copy of your distributor agreement, and guess what you have right there in front of you? That is your business plan. That is going to show that, okay, you are in business. This is the agreement this is what you agreed to be in business, and that literally is going to address all of the factors that the IRS is asking. Now all you have to do is have a decent way of tracking those expenses. When I realized that it was as simple as making sure you are aligned with a reputable company who already has these things in place for you, I was like, oh, this is easy. This is easy. It's easy to take advantage of all of these deductions that Congress has laid out for us. So let's talk about some of those personal expenses, though, that you can convert into valuable business deductions, because with the tax law changes this year, there are some that have been added, and there are some that have been disconnected. So understand, a business is a business no matter what the size of the business, okay? Whether or not it's currently making a profit, no matter where it's located, it's still considered a business. So even if you're running your business out of your home, guess what? That just means that your office building is your home, right? So your tax deductions are going to be based on the percentage of the house that you're using. So we're wanting to shift our mindset and then stop thinking of your address as simply where you live, but also where you run your business. So this is a place of business, but you also live there. You want to try to kind of begin to flip that so that you can begin to look more intuitively at the deductions and benefits that you have for being there. So just real quickly, I'm going to give you an idea of some of the expenses that you can take now as a home-based business owner. So a portion of your mortgage interest, you can write it off as a business expense, right? Now, why is that significant? Because if you're remembering over the years, you were able to write your mortgage interest off on a Schedule A, and it made a really big deal. Well, guess what? It doesn't make a really big deal anymore with the changes. Unless you have a ton of mortgage interest, well over $18,000 worth, it's not really going to change your tax liability or your tax picture as much. However, if you move that mortgage interest now from your personal taxes to your business, that's going to make a difference. And guess what? Even your rent. You couldn't before write off a portion of your rent. But now you can claim a business rent deduction on your Schedule C based on the business use percentage of your home. All right? And we can talk about later how it is that you determine that usage. Your utilities, your gas bill, your water, your electric. If you have a sewer bill, part of that can actually be deducted as well. If you have a cleaning service that comes in, the portion of your that same percentage, that business use percentage, that is for your business, you can take that same percentage of what you paid to have your home cleaned, and now you can write that off. If you've got computers, copiers, scanners, even cell phones, you can write off a portion of that. Now, the cell phone piece is kind of sticky because some auditors are going to want you to have a separate cell phone for your business, totally separate from your personal cell phone. And it's, you just have to figure out how to determine that percentage. What percentage of your cell phone calls are business versus personal? Personally, I just have a separate phone for my business and a separate phone for my personal. Any pens, postage, paper, your desks, coffee tables. It's really weird. If you use it in your business, even if it's only part-time, like if Ty Grayle decided he was going to have those events in his home, and people are sitting on his sofa, then a portion of the cost of that sofa is going to be deductible, right? It's crazy. If they decide, you know what, I'm going to remodel this room because it'll make it better for when the people come, a portion of that cost can be tax deductible. It's amazing when you start to really be getting to think, okay, I run a business here, but I also live here, versus I live here and I run a business here. You'll begin to say, oh my gosh, there's so many more deductions, so many more places where I could be saving money if you just start paying attention and shift your mind, right? Fix that mindset. Plane fares, hotel costs, when you're traveling, rental cars, even meals. Now, you can't write meals off at 100%. But if you're meeting with someone, a percentage of those meals are tax deductible as well. Even insurance, health, dental, your car insurance, a portion of your car insurance. Now, if you have a separate car, if you have two cars, and I always tell people in business, always have two cars, even if one of them is just a beater, right? One that you're specifically just using so that you can write off the other car. I probably shouldn't have said that way, but yeah. So, like, I have two vehicles that I use. Of course, the more expensive one is totally the business one, if that makes sense, right? Because I can write off all the expenses related to that vehicle. The other car is my personal one, so I've separated my personal from my business. If you have security alarms, hidden cameras, anything like that in your home, which is your business, where you actually, you run a business, but you also live, those things are deductible. All right, so there's so many areas, and what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you this app that's going to help you to kind of begin to think about all of these areas where you can have these deductions. The app is going to be, you're going to go to easytaxtracker.com, the letter E, the letter Z, taxtracker.com, easytaxtracker.com. And it's actually going to take you to the TaxSpot website. And what it does is it puts your expense and mileage tracking on autopilot. So literally, I have this app running in the background of my phone. And when I travel one place to another, it records it automatically. It ties into your GPS system. So later you go back in and it says, okay, is this a deductible trip? Was it personal? Was it business? Which business was it for? And what were you doing? What was it? Where were you going and what were you meeting? Who were you meeting with? You can put your credit cards in, like your business card. So when you swipe, it automatically goes into the app. Or you can manually take a picture of the receipts, and then you can enter what it was there for. Like when you have meals, you have to tell the IRS what the meal was, who was there, and what you were talking about. You can put that all in the app. And then at the end of the year, you just print out all the reports. You give those to your tax preparer, and then they use that to create your taxes. And you have records. You don't have a box full of receipts. All you're doing is now taking pictures of the receipts at the lunch table or the dinner table. It's in your phone. It goes uploaded into the app. And then at the end of the year, you have everything that you need. And when you go to that site, you're going to get a couple weeks free trial, 14 days. And then you can go ahead, if you want to purchase it and use it, which is what I tell all my clients to do, then you can do that. But what does that do? It puts your record keeping on autopilot. So now you don't have to stop doing what's important, which is contacting people, inviting people to take a look at your opportunity and try your product. You don't have to stop getting on calls because I have to spend time working on my records. You don't have to, at the beginning of every year, sit down and spend 5 days trying to get your documents together for a tax preparer, or take a box of receipts to them and get charged ridiculous amounts of money for them to get it together for you. You just print it out and you can go with it. And it's going to give you those categories so that you don't have to remember, well, is this tax deductible or not? Just go into the app and look and see. It's right there for you. So, I mean, it's just saved us so much time and so much energy. And I'm just kind of looking at the time, Dr. Stan, because what I want to start talking about next is some of the major new tax deductions, because we've got tax deductions coming in 3 different areas. There's indirect expenses, we've got direct expenses, we've even got business asset deductions that have come up as a result of these new tax laws. But I know if I get started, then I won't have enough time to finish. So I think I'm going to stop there today. And then next week, we're going to go in and just really get deeper involved. I mean, if there are questions about how this works, just hit me on Facebook and, Katrina Ferguson. message me, and anything I can do to support you getting, your taxes, your tax picture on tap, getting it in alignment with the IRS so that you don't have a hard time coming into the year. Remember, this is July 1st starts the third quarter. You could actually do a really good job for 3 months, and then that can be the base or foundation for the numbers that you present to the IRS, and they'll be okay with that as numbers for the whole year. We just multiply them by 4. But the whole idea is what you keep that counts. Don't keep giving, we want to give to Caesar what's Caesar's, but we don't need to give him a penny more, if that makes sense. So with that, I'm Dr. Katrina Ferguson, excited to be with you this Tax Tuesday, and I'll turn it back to you, Dr. Stan.
Wow. Wait a minute. Folks, did y'all hear what I just heard? I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, not such just powerful information and practical information, but literally it's priceless, and she delivered it in such a way. And so listen, Doc, just we had a bunch of folks jump on a little later. Just take another minute and recapture what you said about Israel, how you took that vacation trip and became part of a tax write-off. Just cover that again, because I think some folk missed it, other folk got on a little late. But that is so powerful. That is one of the most powerful recruiting principles that a person can use. So just briefly mention that again.
Yeah, I think, Dr. Stan, that we forget. We don't even, it's funny, we expect everybody else to be serious and expedient and have a sense of urgency about our businesses when we don't have it for ourselves. So we always are like, oh, yeah, I'm going on vacation, and I might, I'm going to take a few of my products with me. No, I'm taking my products with me when I go on vacation, right? Got to keep the main thing the main thing. So I don't leave home without at least my personal products, but I always bring extra. So literally, while in Jerusalem, a couple things happen. One thing is they have Shabbat, which means that from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, everything is closed. The restaurants are closed. Even we're staying in a hotel, and they're like, okay, well, you can have warmed up leftovers because we just left them on the warmer because we can't turn on any electricity. You're walking up and down the stairs because the elevators are turned off. Like, I mean, I'm being a little exaggerative, but it's ridiculous. Everything is shut down. But what's happening is they're building relationships in the family. And what is this industry all about but relationship building? Mm-hmm. So we're sitting around tables, and I'm talking to one of the bishops of the church, and I literally just had my hydration drops, I had the silver, I had my magnesium, my little baggie of my personal stuff out there on the table. And people kept coming like, well, what's that? Now, there's a language barrier, but in trying to explain it, and the one lady, like, literally pulled up her pants leg and showed me how swollen her leg was. I mean, it was crazy. So I was like, she's getting it. So you share the website and all that kind of stuff. But what that did was that made part of that vacation now tax deductible. Why? Because I did business. So not only that, but as we were moving around the country, and some of the older ladies were having a lot of trouble, and my biggest regret was that I did not have any more than my personal nano card with me. I literally had 5 cards at home, but I didn't have them with me. And I know I even called you from Israel, like, can we get some overnight because they're having a hard time. But I literally had to pray about, God, who do I give my personal card to? Because, I mean, I can handle it. I can handle the walking, but they were having such a hard time. And I gave it to one lady, and it was so funny because she said, well, what do I do with it? I mean, does it expire? And I wanted to tell her yes so she would buy more, but I couldn't. So I said, no, it doesn't expire. But so she took it and she put it on her body. And she said, oh, my God, I don't know if it's, I'm just thinking it made a difference. She said, but I was able to climb these steps up to this, because, Jerusalem is very mountainous. And we were climbing mountains to get to these temples and churches. And she climbed all the way up, and she was not tired. And she's like, oh, my God, this is so different. And she didn't give it back to me. I meant for her to use it that day and give it back to me. Even Bishop was like, can we share it with other people? I'm like, she won't give it back. So she used it. She kept it. And then even at the airport when we went to leave, I said, well, can I, that's my personal card. Can I get my card back? And she said, well, I'm embarrassed because I have it, she had it tucked in her chest like old ladies where they put their money. And she was like, I don't want to give it to you from there. She said, but, I mean, I don't really want to give it back to you. Can I just buy this one? And I was like, oh, my gosh. She said, if it wasn't for this card, I would not have made it through this trip. And she was on the trip with her daughter and her grandson, and she said, this is what made it most memorable for us, the fact that I could keep up with all the walking, all of the hills, the mountains, the twists, the turns, the tunnels. I was with my family. And literally, I just wanted everybody to be clear that what you're doing is making a difference in people's lives. You know, to some that might not be a big deal, but to this lady with her granddaughter, with her grandson and her daughter, and, you know, the key piece being her other daughter passed away a few years ago. So this was a very important trip for them. I mean, her trip was shifted because of a nano card, something that we get $5 for $40, $8, an $8 investment in somebody's life, changed their life, and then created another customer in our business. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't you tell everybody that you know?
Wow. That just puts so much of an increased perspective. And so, folks, do you understand? Do you understand what God has positioned you to do? Do you understand it? Do you grasp the intensity that you need to develop? Because there's some people, you know, there's some people that they don't know what they don't know, and you know something that they need to know, that they need to have. And Dr. Katrina just showed you how you actually not just get paid from the company, but it creates additional legal tax deductions. I mean, hello. So everybody on this line should be hitting Ambassador ASAP. Everybody should be hitting this Ambassador Global. You know, you 7 globals, somebody's going to be the very first crown, and you need to be hitting crown. Hint, hint, Dr. Katrina. But anyway, but you need, listen, it opened up so many doors. When Dr. Katrina put me on the phone with her bishop, and you know, and again, he's talking about, you know, overnighting products to Israel. Everybody on this and part of his party needs this. And here's a bishop that has some powerful influence internationally, who is now excited about these products. And again, it wasn't the first connection, because when I started talking to him, he said to me, like Dr. Katrina, why didn't you tell me this? And she's like, I already told him. he just didn't receive it. So that leads me to this point. That is this: 90%. Please write this down. And then we got to scoot. We got to hear real quick from Ty Grail to tell you about the meeting Thursday. But 90%. Write this down. 90% of all sales occur between the 5th and 12th contact. 90% of all sales occur between the 5th and 12th contact, which means, and we'll back up, because most people only make 2 contacts and they quit. They're done. 1 or 2 and they're done, which means they're stopping, you know, 2 or 3 contacts before they get to where 90% of the success occurs. So sometimes the contact is a little video you send, like the replay of this would grab people's attention, right? A sizzle call, which, by the way, Liddy's sizzle call, the use piece, that thing it's back up and running, by the way. That's, if you haven't called that, call it today, 646-653-1830, 646-653-1830. By the way, this is the reason why also that Liddy and I both said, listen, this kind of training needs to be in the back office. This needs to be a course that can be offered that people could purchase, and also that we could make commissions from. And of course, Dr. Katrina get paid for her work. But I'm saying, do you see what kind of team God is assembling? I mean, there's so many things. But anyway, real quick, Ty, why don't you come on out, tell us about that meeting real quick. And then tomorrow we'll have you hear from Chief Asong, the most incredible nanocard testimonial you'll ever want to hear. Trust me, so don't miss it. Ty Gray, real quick, what about the meeting?
Hey, Uplift family, Dr. Stan and Dr. Katrina, God bless your heart. You just gave me, I mean, just you gave us $10,000 worth of consultation fees. We should be paying you for what you just gave us. The whole thing about the business plan, and that's one of the sticklers for me, putting a business plan together. The fact that we already have it, and you just oh my God, thank you
It's a
so
breakthrough
much.
for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, awesome. And this Easy Tax Tracker, let me make sure I got that right. It's EasyTaxTracker.com, correct? Is she still there, Doc?
Yes.
Okay, is that correct? Okay,
yeah,
I just wanted to make sure.
that's it.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, that's the. That's definitely the address. EasyTaxTracker.com. Yeah, and that's something that we don't realize, the power of what's in our hands. And it's like Dr. Stan said, well, I guess Miles Monroe said it first, is unless you understand the value of a thing, abuse is inevitable. And we're abusing our opportunity, and we're going to be judged if we don't take advantage fully and help people with what God has put in our hands.
Yes. Well, that's you just used the operative word. I want to do a little short piece called opportunity. We're having an opportunity meeting here, starting in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the whole West Michigan area, Kentwood, Wyoming, Ottawa, everybody in this area. You can come from as far as Detroit if you like. But I want to just talk quickly about opportunity. See, I gazed at opportunity as she walked into the place. But instead of me embracing her, I laughed right in her face. Nevertheless, she flirted. In spite of my naivete, she said, soon you'll learn to love me and come to bless this day. But alas, I was a youngster, all brash and full of self. I chose to throw her jewels in the closet on a shelf, and I shut the door behind me, walked away from fortune good, and chose to dance with chance, whom I never understood. But opportunity is patient, as tolerant as can be, and neither she nor my creator was yet quite through with me. So she, along with destiny, came a-knocking yet once more. This time I was elated to see her standing at my door. So I guess if there's a moral somewhere lurking round this rhyme, it's that if when first you meet her, you should hug her that first time. But if at first you fail pursuing opportunity, remember she's a lady, and the lady catches thee. And brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we have been caught. We have been caught by Shop Free Mart. Shop Free Mart is the best opportunity that has come along in my lifetime. I mean, and so I would encourage everybody, if you have a pencil and paper, take down Pastor Robert Sims and I. We're going to be doing every Thursday, starting at 6 o'clock, and we're going to go from 6 until we need to get out of there. And the place is called Grand Traverse Pie Company. The address is 3224 28th Street, Kentwood, Michigan. That's 3224 28th Street, Kentwood, Michigan, area code 49512. And anybody interested in coming or sending anybody, I'm giving out the phone number, and I hope he doesn't mind. But the phone number is 616-214-0829. That's 616-214-0829. Come on, y'all. Let's take advantage of what God has given us. This is too strong a blessing for us to just sneeze at. And Dr. Katrina, listen, you got a client here. I'm getting ready to sign up for whatever. Let you know. Back to you, Dr. Stan.
Wow. By the way, special congratulations to Kathy Moore, who just made global last night. And she says by July 31st, her goal is to make crown. And so Lydia, I know, is so super godly proud of Kathy. And, oh, my goodness, the work that she's doing. So, again, congratulations. And she's been faithfully on these calls. And so thank you. And again, Dr. Katrina Ferguson, thank you. And Ty, oh, my goodness. And again, don't forget, like I said, Apostle Barry Burrell, he started the thing. First person I know in the whole company, not just pastor, but first person in the whole company, started having a meeting every week. And he has it right at his church, Living Waters Christian Cathedral. And they talk about living water and a living opportunity. And now it's starting to spread. So again, thank you, Apostle. for being an apostle, establishing something that now, oh my goodness, is just going crazy. So we got to get out of here. And Coach, and by the way, Ty, you said Shop Free Mart is the greatest opportunity. I just have to beg to differ a little bit. It's only a little bit better because when you tie Shop Free Mart with Uplift, come on, somebody, uplifting ourselves, uplifting each other, and up together, uplifting the world. So when you tie these two together, it's like a shotgun's great, but a double-barrel shotgun, oh my goodness. And the wisdom and the heart of a coach, Bishop Kenny Smith, to have it where it says, look, we're going to have multiple streams of income, and while we're working on getting our uplift going, I want my people to be experiencing some income producing, some greater health. And so I hope everybody who's part of the Uplift family, I hope you so appreciate Coach 100K for what he's doing, working behind the scenes and still working like crazy, getting everything in place. I hope you appreciate this man of God. I hope that you're upgirding him in prayer every day, he and his family. I hope that, again, you're doing the same for Mr. John Austin as I do early every morning and praying for the Shop Mart and Shop Free Mart. And we're way over again. We could go on and on. We got to stop. But when you take what Shantae Kelly has with the teaching people about social media marketing, you take all the Dr. Sonia Ham. Doc, are you on? Because I know that the Father's Day magazine is just hit this HD magazine. Dr. Sonia Ham, who's part of Dr. Katrina Ferguson's team, and the one who sponsored us, one of the superstars, Apostle Shirley Ferguson, who hit like ambassador in a couple of days and global in a couple of weeks, and now she's about to hit crown as well. So, Doc, I don't know if you're still on to give us information. If not, we'll have you tomorrow talk about that, how we can get the magazine. And so, anyway, so Coach, let's go back over to you, man, and thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. You are, I don't know. I can only say the brother like no other. The master disaster, can't say it no faster. Too strong to be weak, too sweet to be sour. You can't take credit as all God and Queen's power. Coach 100K.
Sharp. Thank you, my friend. I tell you what, somebody once said this, I think it was last year. I love it like a fat kid love chocolate candy, bro. Okay, right now. Love you, man. Appreciate your heart. Incredible call. Hey, thank you so much, Dr. Ferguson. I've been trying to tell people exactly what you said, but I couldn't say it quite the way you said it. But anyway, it was good stuff. I'm telling you. And you know what? This is awesome because you look at Shop Free Mart, Dr. Breakthrough, you look at that, and you're actually now, watch, for zero, the government says you are attempting to profit. Isn't that something? For zero, out of pocket, you shift categories, go from W-2 to 1099 for zero, and where the government says that a home-based business is attempting to profit, now for zero, you show that you are attempting to profit, and you get all these tax breaks take place. I'm telling you, boy, it just don't get no better. Well, that with uplift gonna get real good. But I do appreciate this information. Tax Tuesday, thank you so much for doing that for us. And I'm telling you, you're leading a mighty team, Dr. Breakthrough. You are leading a team. You're inspiring all of us to do better. And we thank God for you. So
we are leading.
We. I tell you, I get so excited about leading and following. You got to be able to follow. Even as a great leader, you got to be able to follow. I thank God for your